agreement of the set for June 28th. Botswana officially launches the African Peer Review Mechanism National Governance Council. And ABSA Botswana are title sponsors for the 2024 Summer Kids Marathon. Very good afternoon to you. And in this bulletin, the first story you go into is that President Dr Moshoeshoe says the 28th of June 2024 is the official deadline for the Botswana government and DBS Diamond long-form agreement details to be finalized. He cited the inherent priority of prosperity for all Botswana, which is at the core of Botswana and DBS 10-year agreement, which was signed in principle in June 2023 and has since then undergone several stages of review. Usidile Nkabetsi with more.
Almost 9 months ago, Botswana and DBS made history, committing in principle to a 10-year transformational agreement which reflects the aspirations of a new era for Botswana through her diamond story. The signing of this deal has categorically been in several stages, with its long-form agreement officially billed for June this year.
28th June is the absolute deadline.
Absolutely.
And then we saw, it's really realizing a totally new relationship.
Yeah.
Where we're generally together.
Yes.
No one ever leaving the other behind. You know, the other deal was, so we need to make up for that.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of soothing of our hearts to do.
Yeah.
For the afflictions we suffered over time.
Yeah.
Of being left behind with this non-compete thing.
Yeah.
It was the most debilitating clause. Archaic, imperialistic, colonial. I owe it to the people that I lead to make sure that I ease their pain and burden. And because we're a peaceful people, we wanted to be peaceful. We wanted to be negotiated. We wanted to be understood. And we wanted to make up for lost time.
The Botswana-DBS new agreement is indicative of a mutually transformative path and progressive future Botswana and DBS are on.
June 30th of last year, we both, DBS and Botswana government, signed a statement of principles. And then September 30th, we signed the heads of terms. Now what is left is the long-form agreement, whereby now we've got definitive, well laid out terms of what we're going to do in those agreements. All of the issues hinging around tax, hinging around other agreements on the exploration side, on the DBS side, investment shareholder agreement, and all the other new ones apart from the master agreement and the sales agreement have now been agreed. So we don't anticipate any hiccups for the signing bill for the 28th of June this year.
We first and foremost talked about the finalisation of the agreements between DBS and the government, and we're very confident in the progress that we're making there. It's being done in a very good and collaborative spirit. Beyond that, we talked about rejuvenating the partnership between DBS and Botswana, and the President really wants this to be a showcase of a public-private partnership that the world around can see. The centrepiece of that is the Diamonds for Development Fund that we'll be setting up later on this year to begin with an injection of R1 billion pula and to really drive forward with sustainable development even beyond diamonds.
The final signing in June will launch the Botswana-DBS diamond deal into full swing, awakening the duo to an uncharted yet promising chapter. Such brings value additions across the diamond value chain for Botswana, including prospects for accelerating her economic diversification and job creation aspirations, among several others. Utsidile Nkabetsi, BTV News, Gaborone.
The Botswana Defence Force BDF informs the public about the unfortunate death of one of its service members deployed in Cabo Delgado province in Mozambique due to a short illness. According to a statement from the BDF, the member passed away on the 27th of March 2024. The deceased non-commissioned officer, NCO, was deployed as part of the BDF's Contingent 5 under some IM forces in the Cabo Delgado province for peace support operations in Mozambique. Botswana officially launched the African Peer Review Mechanism, APRM, National Governance Council, after 5 years of pledging with other African Union members to adopt the APRM practices. The APRM supports and advocates for good governance at a wider scope within the African continent. Speaking during the launch in Gaborone, the Minister of State President, Mr. Dr Moshoeshoe, said this is a great milestone as it reaffirms Botswana's position to uphold best governance practices. Compiled the report.
Botswana signed the Memorandum of Understanding in 2019 to adopt the APRM as the 38th country to do so in the African continent. Since then, Botswana remained without the national governing body to put under a radar issues of governance at a national level. The launch of the new national body engraves the history for the first council members in the country to carry out the mandate to facilitate openness and transparency in the governance through the proper hierarchy of the council, focal minister, head of state, and the full country report presented during the AU summits. This was greatly applauded as it will be a great platform for Botswana to learn and share her good practices with the world.
Today's launch reaffirms Botswana's commitment to the APRM process. Our resolve to join the APRM in 2019 was premised on our commitment in upholding the ideals of democracy, good governance, respect for human rights, and the rule of law. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President, Dr Moshoeshoe, for the decision he took for Botswana to accede to the African Peer Review Mechanism. This was a reflection of Botswana's belief and commitment in Pan-Africanism and multilateralism. We are mindful of the fact that no country can succeed if it acts in isolation. As the saying goes, no man is an island.
The newly established body expressed gratitude and pledged to carry out their national duty with utmost dedication and integrity.
The APRM concept is a recognition that to tackle the mammoth tasks or challenges such as poverty, underdevelopment, democratization, and political instability on the continent, it is not nearly enough or sufficient to have resources and skills, important as these are, but more importantly, to realize that the human development process would be incomplete if it didn't embrace certain key underlying societal values, ethics, principles, and practices.
This 16 members council will work closely with different key stakeholders, including, among others, government officials, academias, civil society organization, and many others. Gilikelezwe, Somulikai, PTV News, Gaborone.
The Ombudsman, Advocate Stephen Tirakosi, has expressed dissatisfaction about the continuous low level of execution of projects in the Ministry of Justice. He said while they are on the final lap of the Transitional Plan 2023-25, the ministry has failed to deliver on some projects for 2 consecutive financial years. The Ombudsman was speaking at the ministry retreat organized to review the annual performance plan for 2023-2024 and also develop another annual performance plan for the year 2024-2025 and how they can improve justice in the country. Pearl Pudhuru with more.
The Ministry's retreat was conducted to review the annual performance plan for 2023-24 and develop another annual performance plan for the year 2024-25 and how they can improve justice in the country.
As we reflect on the Ministry's performance, we must not just dwell on the negatives. We must also acknowledge steady progress and come up with strategies that will transform the progress, meaningful output. We should therefore focus on internal processes to enhance efficiency. The newly introduced development model, whose objective is to speed up delivery of projects, came with unintended consequences of delays due to the development of contractual agreements under the DM model.
Despite the challenges that the ministry has encountered, there has been some notable achievements. The focus will also be on fine-tuning internal processes to enhance efficiency.
If you take, for instance, budget, the financial year is very short in terms of planning and execution. One of the challenges we are having is that we did not deliver on most of the projects. There are infrastructure building. We have engaged with, we've worked with development partners like UNDP, UNICEF, to look at the plight of children in accessing justice. BANA are protected by international instruments and the law. So when we have BANA facing criminal charges, are they facilitated enough to take into consideration BANA, you are not going to end up with hardcore criminals, but the adults?
Also be thinking about how we can improve or we can expedite the cases involving asset forfeiture. If you look at the DPP, for example, they've got an asset forfeiture unit which deals with those cases. When an asset forfeiture case, when they receive such, they expedite.
The Minister of Justice has signed the performance agreement with the President Mokgweetsi Masisi, and they are committed to deliver some strategic objectives with regards to the ministry. Paul Puduhudu, PTV News.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the children's rights stakeholders, amongst them Stepping Stones International, have launched a roadmap on the children-friendly justice to ensure that children's rights are well protected. The roadmap highlights some of the areas of concern, such as children's courts and child-friendly courts. This was revealed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Ms. Naledi Moroka, during the official launch of the roadmap. Komiso Mapayan with more.
The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the violation of children's rights, as during that period, the Botswana Police Service has observed high cases of children being ill-treated and their rights being trampled upon. This then resulted in the government to imposing stringent measures to curb such cases that involve violation of children's rights. Ms. Moroka said her ministry saw it vital to support children's rights by all means, as that can bring positive change to society.
Moreover, the roadmap places a strong emphasis on prevention and interventions, recognizing that true justice is not merely punitive and is also proactive. By addressing underlying social, economic and environmental factors that contribute to crime and inequality, we can create a society where justice is not just about punishment, but about healing and restoration with the best interest of the child at heart. This means addressing systematic biases within our institutions, reviewing and harmonizing outdated laws, and investing in developing the human capital that administers justice.
Stakeholders that deal with children's rights, that include UNICEF, share their opinions regarding the said roadmap.
We have continued to support the government of Botswana in realizing Articles 37 and 40 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which requires that state parties develop and implement a comprehensive child justice system. A comprehensive child justice system is one that guarantees the respect and effective implementation of all child rights at the highest attainable level. Justice that is accessible, is age appropriate, is speedy, diligent, and adapted to and focused on the needs and the rights of a child is critical at no other time other than the present in a country like Botswana.
A system whereby children do not have to wait for hours after a trauma experience. A system whereby children are not re-victimized during court processes. A system whereby cases do not take forever to be trialed. A system not only comprising of the Ministry of Justice, but a system where all stakeholders admit their weaknesses, take action to change as part of the recent mindset.
Developments or changes that have been implemented to protect children's rights are being looked upon to change the landscape and ensure children's rights are protected. Kumiso Mapanyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
More on this bulletin. In trying to curb the high unemployment rate in the country, the Botswana Communications Regulatory Authority, BOKRA, in conjunction with the national broadcaster, has trained 19 media graduates with skills to combat these challenges. These 19 graduates concluded the program recently, and a farewell ceremony was held in their honor. Yengemali Moyo reports.
At a crucial time as this, where unemployment remains a major concern, this initiative is an opportunity in bridging that gap, as these graduates are now equipped with entrepreneurial skills that will allow for employment creation.
The impactful documentaries that you created highlighting the UASF projects stand as a testament to your ability to translate your learnings to compelling storytelling. Furthermore, your contribution to the BOKRA 25th anniversary documentary is also a long-lasting record of significant events that you participated in.
You did gain invaluable lessons from your engagement with BOKRA and DBS, not just from your professional point of view as people in television production, but in other facets of your life. Just meeting people that are in the working world when you are a fresh graduate exposes you to other things that you are supposed to have in life.
Being grounded and rooted with the state broadcaster for training allowed trainees to gain skills that will expose them to the local and international markets.
A decision was made then to make sure that we have a channel dedicated for news and current affairs, another channel for youth, sports and entertainment, BTV1 and BTV2 to cater for government programming. And that's the time when you came, and your contribution is something that we will always be grateful for, because you help us realize what we wanted to achieve.
Although I stand before you as an individual, I represent 19 amazing people. Individuals who, for the last 3 years, have shown determination, discipline, passion, and an admirable sense of love for the media industry. We have learned and gained so much from the staff at BTV as well as BOKRA, skills I believe we will take with us wherever we go and for the rest of our lives.
The future of the trainees now lies in their hands, as they are now industry ready, since they were trained for a period of 3 years, thus making them ready to face any challenges they may encounter, while also creating employment for others. Yengemali Moyo, BTV News, Gaborone.
A senior official from the Botswana University of Science and Technology, Dr Moshoeshoe, who leads the National Satellite System Program, BOTSWANA, has pointed out that the development of the system is currently at 50% completion rate. Dr Moshoeshoe said this while updating the media about the progress of the project in Palapi. Lavo Mario with more.
The Botswana Satellite 1 project, named as BOTSET, is an initiative which was commissioned by the President Dr Moshoeshoe in November 2022. The ground station being at BSET and the first of its kind in this country. BOTSET will help improve the technology state in this country and cutting edge in research, technology and innovation as it captures satellite images from the skies. BSET, being the leader of this project, anticipates the project to run for 5 years at a cost of 33 million pula per year.
The government had made a commitment to say approximately per year for 5 years. I didn't talk that right. This project is a 5-year project. Per year, I'm pledging, not I'm giving you, I'm pledging 33 million a year. That is about 2-3 million a month just to fund this project. But so far, on the third year now, we have only spent about 18. You can see we have saved a lot for the government.
As we progress through satellite construction and marketing, we remain dedicated to maximizing the positive impact on our communities and fostering a culture of innovation. Key achievements include the completion of the ground station, development of major satellite components, and successful training programs for our young scientists and engineers.
The chairperson of the BOTSWANA project, Professor Gregory Hillhouse, expressed this move as a stepping stone for the country as it strives to be a knowledge-based economy through this kind of initiatives.
So this is a vehicle into STEM. In terms of farming, if you have high-resolution photos that you're taking for up to 10 years, you can see in time how the landscape is changing and the government can make informed decisions.
BSET leadership said they are moving into aerospace engineering as the government of Botswana recognized the importance of space ecosystem. This satellite project is expected to benefit agriculture, tourism and land planning sectors. This project is expected to be completed in August this year. Lovemore Mario, BTV News, Palape.
And residents of Boteti have been urged to promote a healthy and clean environment through proper waste management practices. This was said by different speakers at the Boteti District Council's cleanup campaign at Buhe Ward at Letlakane Village. With more.
This cleanup campaign comes at a time when the council observes improper disposal of waste, which leads to unclean environment. The council has partnered with other government departments as well as private companies to clean Letlakane Village and Boteti district as a whole.
A se gore re thopile Buhe ka gore ke eno le so go hita mahilo othnya le thakane hela di ward tsa rona di liswe hela tsot ja no re na le schedule sa rona se leng gore re tana re se follower kgwedi le kgwedi gore ha re tswa mo Buhe re tabori ya kae ha re tswa gone kwa re tabori le ko re tabori ya kae hela jalo mme gongwe ke rutuetse botsadi jo boleng hano gore a re simoleng go ruta batho ka le rona re ithute go sumarela matakana
di harologanyeng tse di phuthelwang mme o ithala tota ha gongwe o itebetse le wena o ile sa pampiri ho ha ya go nna hela ha e ka nnang teng mme a re le nthoko ba buang ba re gona le batho bangwe ba ba hirilweng ba gaetso ba tshwantseng go ntsha dipampiri tseo a re tswe mo seemong se sentseng jalo gore ka moso re tere le nne le go ka ga pasekgele kana ga gongwe re ka ga pasekgele mo khoteng ya rona ya Buhe.
The public is encouraged to promote a clean environment since it affects public health.
Go khothela tikologo ya motse wa rona kana go sa babalela motse wa rona kana go sa phephahatsa go ka ama botsogo ja rona ga boa go ama dimela tsa rona ga ama ga mmogo le tsone diphologolo mme hela mo ka bogone ba gaetso go tshwantse ga nna mo go rona kana ga nna molaetsa mo go rona ra o hitisetsa go ba bangwe gore go lathela matakala gongwe le gongwe ga go ka ha molaong
gore ha o tsamaya mo yone kgaolo o ta itemogela gore go na le di-dumping site tse le gore di irilwe hela ke batho ba ile gore gongwe ba thuba malele kana ba thuba manto ba ya go lathela ko jaanong le ke re gongwe ke tse sebaka se re kope batho ba go ba dirang jalo gore ba emise go dira jalo ka gore re na le dumping site mo tsa rona wa Lethakane go tshwantse go iswa malele te.
Members of the public are implored to participate in these cleanup campaigns in large numbers in order to achieve the intended goal of a safe, healthy and clean environment. Sebastian Tebogo, BTV News, Letlakane.
Well, that's all I had for you at this hour. Tsola Bikanyerona, Liza Osekeng standing by with what's in the sports news.
Thank you so much, One. Good afternoon. I am Liza Oseke with your World of Sport. And in our first story, Absa Bank Botswana are title sponsors for the 2024 Summer Kids Marathon with a tune of 300,000 pula billed for April 20th in Gaborone. Absa Retail Banking Director Valeta Mtimkulu says it is important to sponsor the marathon as it aligns well with the objective of nurturing children's well-being and development, as well as shaping them to become better in the future. Victoria Dakin has the report.
Mtimkulu said as Absa Bank, they have corporate social programs geared towards the development of children, and initiatives such as Summer Kids Marathon continues from where they have left off. She noted that they will be sponsoring this year's edition with the hope of extending their partnership in the next years.
As a bank, we have a lot of corporate social responsibility programs that we already do in schools, and most of those have been aimed around financial literacy. This gives us an opportunity to extend that to the area of wellness, in addition to already what we do in terms of financial literacy, but also having an account for children, which is a savings account called Future You. So we thought, we already speak and contribute to, the future of our children financially as a financial institution.
This marks the third edition of the marathon since its inception in 2022. The organizers of the race have so far donated books and school shoes to the less privileged students of Media and Mabwani primary schools. The organizer of the marathon, Martin Fani, noted that this year they have included the less privileged children and children with special needs to participate in the race.
Marathon wa rona dingwaga tsa teng di simolola jalo ka 3 years old go ema jalo ka 16 years old. Ke so se ileng gore re batla gore se tsweledise se gole ebile re itumella thata ba banka e tona ya Absa gore ba tsene le rona ba kgona gore ba re thuse ha ileng gore ba kgona gore ba re thuse teng ba re nele se ileng gore gongwe se ta re thusa gore go apele e be re tshwara marathon yo ileng gore go tsepame.
The marathon, which will now be named Absa Summer Kids Marathon, will be held on the 20th of April and will start and finish at the 3 Dikgosi Monument in Gaborone CBD. Over 1,000 children are expected to participate in the race. Victoria Dakin, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And finally, the Zebras head coach Didier Gomez da Rosa says the team needs to work hard in improving their attack and conversion rate, as this affected the results from their Madagascar Four Nations tournament. The team arrived back home from the tournament yesterday, having played to a goalless draw in all the 2 games they played against Burundi and Rwanda. Katleho Kakole.
Da Rosa went on to say, despite the challenges up front, he was impressed with his defense, which was watertight in the 2 encounters where they played without conceding a goal. He said this therefore means they have to work extra hard with the middle field and the striking force.
We didn't concede any goal. It is our third clean sheet during your last 4 matches. It is interesting, but also we didn't score goal. It is my coaching problem. I am the responsible. I need to find option. I need to find solution to be more efficient in our offensive compartment. But I'm not worried. Like I say, I'm very convinced that we can be better. We can play more offensive football.
The senior national team coach, who has been with the Zebras for 6 months now, also pointed out that they used the tournament to introduce new players into their fold and were impressed with the debutants, saying he's confident that they will give his squad depth going into major competitions this year.
I am always on the field, on the training field, on the match field. I can see a lot of player is very important, but for sure in June we will need Tsoso, we will need Gape, Titi also is injury, we will need Mpo. I hope that all my players will be ready to play this crucial World Cup qualifier, because we have too much to play outside against Uganda and Somalia, and it will be very important take maximum point to keep our chance in this qualifier.
Re tshamekile sentle so ke tsa ke re mo tournament e re tswang go yone re itutile thata re le batshameki. Yes, di-position di le teng there and there, but ke tsa ke re go go pele mokatisi wa rona o ta di bakanya. And other thing gore as a team, as a leader ke khone go bua le basimane gore se ka ra tsenya dithogo re tsose dithogo tsa rona go cause re na di games di season tsa World Cup qualifiers.
The Zebras will go into camp in 2 months to prepare for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Uganda on the 3rd of June before taking on Somalia on the 10th of the same month. Katlaho Kakule, BTV Sport, Tlokweng.
Well, and that is it for sport this hour. I'll be back with more at 5, but stay tuned because In Context continues with Oni right after this.
I'm delighted to host this important gathering aimed at enhancing our collective efforts to prevent the use of biological weapons and promote biosafety and biosecurity on the African continent.